introduce the president of the University of North Dakota, Mark Kennedy.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you being here. We're here to announce that Brian Faison has convinced me that this is the right time for him to retire. He has done a phenomenal amount for this university in the decade that he's been here. He came in as we transitioned to Division I and brought us into Division I and certainly established ourselves as a power. That included going through some challenging name issues and other issues that have put us in a path to increasing competitiveness. And he's convinced me that as we do another one of his accomplishments, fulfill that by transitioning into a new conference, that it's an ideal time for somebody else to come and help do the next transition. We gather here in the High Performance Center, and this is just one of many accomplishments that Brian Faison has achieved during his time here. He has set fundraising records during his tenure that has provided more support for athletic programs. He's attracted coaches and teams that have set championship paths and records during his tenure. He has also had a passion for the fact that our student athletes are truly scholar athletes. And the records that we've set in terms of academic achievement by our athletes makes us, all of us here in the university, very proud. And he's also had a passion for community service by our athletes. And again, a record number of hours that our athletes have devoted to community service. So the athletic department of the University of North Dakota is immeasurably better based on the decade of service, excellent service and leadership that Brian Faison has provided. I would say we're going to be having a tough task filling those shoes. And so we'll begin immediately with a national search that will focus on bringing the best athletic director we can that can match the skills and talent that Brian has devoted to the university for the last decade. Tom DiLorenzo, our vice president and provost, will be heading that committee. We'll be announcing those committee members by the end of the week. But if you think about the timing, the last 18 months have been phenomenal for the University of North Dakota's athletics department. In my time playing basketball, when I had more time to play basketball, they always told me, my coaches told me, you want when you're shooting and practicing, end on a good one. You never walk away having missed a basket. You always walk away having shot a good shot. Think about the last 18 months. We've had a national hockey championship. We've had 4 Division I conference championships in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball. We've gone to the big dance for the first time with 1.4 million viewers seeing University of North Dakota. We've also won the President's Cup for the first time in the history of our program. And that's very special to us as a university because it not only honors the achievement in the field of competition, but the achievement in the academics as well. And that reflects that balanced approach that Brian has always taken and the passion that he's already had. Brian has been a tremendous counsel to me here as president. He's always taken his role as athletic director very seriously. His focus has always been not just on the student athletes, them first and foremost, but also on the team that he's gathered here together. So I hope that in the years and decades ahead that I'll be able to keep in close contact with Brian and Donna and that they'll take the call when I have other questions and counsels to provide. So we're very, very appreciative of all Brian Faison has done. He's going to be a very difficult person to replace, but we wanted to make sure that he doesn't forget us, and therefore, as one parting gift, recognizing his decade of experience, we have created a nice number 10 decade of experience jersey with Brian's name on the back I present this to Brian as just a small token of our appreciation.
So Brad, check that eligibility. I might be able to come in and at least maybe get out on the ice. I don't know about that. Thank you, President Kennedy, for your comments. It is a real pleasure and an honor for me to have served as Director of Athletics at the University of North Dakota. And it's been an interesting time. We've gone through some interesting things. As I've said with our staff and our coaches, I don't think any one year has ever been the same. And that's part of what's fun about the job and the rewards that come with that. But I want to thank particularly, and it's going to be a little bit of a list, so bear with me, but I want to thank our coaches. They've done an exceptional job in some cases with some limited resources, and to have those 4 major conference championships in 1 year is never been done before in the Big Sky, and that's pretty special. And then to win a national championship, that's incredible. Expected here to be challenging for it, but incredible to have happen. To our student athletes, what can you say? They continue to amaze me with their academic accomplishments, their athletic achievements, and their commitment to community service. They just they're outstanding representatives of the university, and I hope UND fans everywhere are really proud of those young men and women who represent them with such distinction. To our administrative staff and our support staff, the real people that get the job done behind the scenes, I want to thank them for all their efforts, their tireless efforts. Weekends when we have 5 or 6 major sporting events and they're handling them all, and our event management is the best in the conference, and that means a lot for this institution and for our program. So my hat off to you, to our sports information staff. A great job. This has been a tough week for them because obviously there's a few things going on this weekend that they have to get ready for, but they've stepped up and done an amazing job. To our alumni and just an incredible alumni base at the University of North Dakota, and for the community, the support that we get in this community is incredible. But to our fans, combined alumni and community, if you will, I don't think there's a better loyal fan base than what we have at the University of North Dakota. And they have been just an amazing thing. Wherever you go, doesn't even really matter what sport it is, you're going to have UND fans either at a golf match, or you're going to have them at a hockey game, or you're going to have them at a volleyball match. It's really special, and they've helped make this program, I think, unique amongst many in intercollegiate sports with that great fan base. And certainly it's something I think we all are proud of, and you'll always see the green, there's no question about that. So it's been an interesting time, and we're going to go through. Don and I have, in fact, I should do this because I never do this. I want to thank the one person who's probably been the most important in all my 800 years of whatever we've done together. But my wife, Donna. Donna, would you stand up, please? And trust me, to put up with me for 40 plus years, that takes a lot. So God bless, thanks. Appreciate it. So it's a different time for us now, and different time for the program. I've been thinking about, and we've been discussing retirement for about a year now, off and on, and kind of picked up pace. And we've had some family issues that maybe made us focus a little bit more on ourselves than we have in the past, and it's something that we needed to do. So we've been able to move forward with this situation, which in my mind, certainly from a personal standpoint, is good timing for us. But I think for the program, it's good timing for the program, because this will allow my successor to have time to have some impact for next year, and particularly with the new conferences coming up with the Summit League and the Missouri Valley in a couple of years. I think that's important. And I'll be there to provide what support I can, and again, have really appreciated the support of all the presidents that I've served, President Kennedy, President Schaefer, and President Kelly. They've been fantastic. And Sue Geno, our faculty rep, just incredible. And we've been very blessed. We are very blessed here, both facility-wise and with our staff and with our fans. And I really appreciate everybody's support and good words of encouragement through some interesting times. And we've gotten through it, and I think we're better for it. And now it's the next step. So with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. And Peter, do you want to moderate, or you want me to just? Okay. So we'll just still stand and answer any questions you might have. Well, I'm going to be here for another 6 months as the special advisor to athletics. And then after that, we'll see. We're probably going to be heading back to New Mexico at some point with our home, but we'll see what works out. We want to be situated so we're equidistant between our grandkids so we can be more engaged in their lives. We've got a really good soccer player coming up the steps. He's 4-year-old Harrison, and he scores 6 goals a game. Yeah, 6. So we think maybe he's got some potential down the road here.
Have to make sure he gets a UND jersey. Brian has agreed to stay on as athletic director through the end of December, and then will be available as consul in a consulting basis for 6 months after that through June 30th. So it's only after that that he'll be able to full-time devote his attentions to the grandchildren. We're hopeful that we're going to be able to have an athletic director in place by the time Brian steps down as athletic director on December 31st. We do expect to be using a search firm and doing a national search, and as I said, we'll be hopeful to announce our search committee members by the end of the week. Brian convinced me that it was time to retire. I think Brian's done a phenomenal service. I think having him continue in that service would be a big benefit to the university. But I think as he's laid out, it's a good time for Brian. It's a good time for the university, given the transition to new conferences. Just within the last several weeks. I'm unfamiliar with anybody reviewing anybody. So it's intriguing. I was just here at the football practice a couple of weeks ago. I also had a chance to briefly stop by the hockey. And when you go by a practice, they're running drills. They're running drills for skill development, for making sure that they're a better team, to make sure that when they hit the field of competition that they're winning. Are they reviewing the players while they're doing that skill developments? If I asked Bubba or Brian, would they say these are reviews or would they say these are skill development? And so Brian, being the good leader that he is, does the same thing as coaches would do, work on skill development. So that's an admirable trait of Brian, to make sure that his team, administratively as well as the teams that the coaches lead, are constantly focused on being the best they can be. Those were largely in tandem because he wanted to make sure his team was set up for success. So I think we've repeatedly said that it was not a review, and people tend to ignore, if they call an apple an orange often enough, people will think it's an orange. We're a learning organization that constantly focuses on making sure we're the best we can be. It's a skill development. There are other players on the team that he wants to make sure are set up appropriately for the new transition moving forward, that will continue to be relying on those skills. I said they were in tandem. If you're going to leave and you want to leave your team in the best shape, you want to leave them in the best position possible.
So, any feedback you received from this consulting firm has no tie to today's announcement?
It does not. I think the qualities we're going to look for in the committee is a cross-section of the university. Clearly, there'll be some student athletes represented there. Clearly, we're going to make, I don't think you're going to be seeing a whole lot of coaches on there, but the coaches will have input into the process, because if we may pick one, but you'll also have the faculty has a committee that focuses on athletics that'll be involved in that, and you'll be making sure you have some community members.
Well, we've had tremendous success thanks to everybody involved with the program, and we got to a certain point where after we made the commitments and were able to gain membership in the Summit League and the Missouri Valley Conference, and as things played out, we thought more and more. We had some situations we were concerned about with our family, not here but other places. And just really started to think more and more about retirement in that context, and felt like if we're going to make a change, at least from an institutional perspective, it's a good time. Programs are in great shape, and we know football is going to get it going. We just got to keep them out of the training room, and it's for us personally, it's a perfect situation. But I think for the institution, most importantly, it allows whoever is going to come in to have full run at the Summit and the Missouri Valley Conference.
I would just also say, we forgot to mention that Brian was named FCS Athletic Director of the Year by Under Armour. And when you think about it, we are very lucky that we got this conference transition done with Brian fully engaged, because his depth of experiences and the respect that he has held in across the country, across the different sports, I think were a key part in us being able to transition to the new conferences, which I think we're all convinced are going to be better for us competitively in terms of attracting more fans into the stands with our natural allies, but also better for the student athletes themselves, having less travel time in between games. So as the timing worked out in Brian's decision making, I'm very pleased that as part of that, we got transitioned to the conferences before he decided he wanted to retire.
Well, there's no question it was a factor. We know that we're going in the Summit League next year, and I just felt the timing in terms of if we're going to have someone to come in new, it would be the best opportunity for them to have a full run at the next year, both from the Summit League perspective, but also from all the different issues that have to be addressed, whether it's setting tickets, how you're going to market, what the fundraising efforts are going to be, how you're going to roll that out. So a lot of different things come into play. I think it's a combination of things. Every time we've made a move in conference, it's been an incredible acknowledgement, I think, of the success of the program in garnering that opportunity. So whether it was going from the Great West to the Big Sky, or now from the Big Sky to the Summit League, I think being in a breakfast nook at the Country Inn and Suites at the Denver airport to form the new hockey conference with my counterparts at Denver and CC kind of rank up there. I've learned a lot about hosting championship trophies with all the players jumping up and down. If you notice with the Big Sky trophies, they're really cool, but they're pointed. And that's been a little bit of an issue when your players are jumping up and down on you. But that's special too. And then being afforded the opportunity to actually present the national championship trophy to the hockey team as a member of the hockey committee, that was pretty special too. So that's all been great. But I guess more than anything else, it's just watching our student athletes just do such an amazing job. I mean, in the classroom with their travel schedules, and then to do to compete as they do, programs are getting better. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, the President's Cup is probably the epitome of everything, because it's all about academic accomplishment and athletic accomplishment. So I don't think there's one thing, there's a lot of things.
I would just also say that I forgot to mention, you see Brian and Donna at nearly every game that certainly I've been at, and so they have devoted themselves to being there to watch those student athletes do the great and wonderful things that they do.
Oh, there's no question. It wears on you at times, but again, I know this will sound crazy, but it's been fun. I mean, I've had great support. throughout whatever we've had to deal with, and at the end of the day, we've gotten done what we needed to do, and sometimes it was hard, and there's some things that you wish we didn't have to do, but we did. But at the end of the day, I really believe the program's in a better place competitively, financially, and we're in conferences now that I think are going to make more sense, both financially and competitively for our athletic programs moving forward. So from that perspective, I think, yeah, there is. And it's been interesting. Every year is different, but to me, that's been the fun, to be honest. It's really been the challenge. And every day you walk in the office, you might as well throw your schedule away because it's going to be something different. And I kind of like that. Trying to put the institution in a position where they can get an individual chosen before the first of the year, I think is important, because then they've got the full run going into next year in terms of prep. So for me, the timing just made sense.
Brian, will you be involved in the process of hiring a new AD, or are you just going to be consultant?
I'll just, if they have questions or wanted me to do some follow-up on some individuals, I'll do that, but they'll have a search committee and they'll have a process in place, and I won't formally be a part of that, no.
President Kennedy, do you have a list of potential replacements that you would like to contact, or do you have anybody in mind for this position?
We are looking to do a national search and make sure we get the best person in. So I have nobody that I would suggest to you is top of mind for who we want to have in this role. We are going to be leaving that to the search committee. We have not. We've reached out to some people selectively on search committee membership, and we'll be announcing that list, but we have not reached out to people to ask them to be athletic director. I think we said Brian's going to remain athletic director through the end of the calendar year, and as a consultant to the athletic department for the 6 months thereafter, so through June 30th.
I think we're going to go and break up into individuals, but I want to thank our coaches, our staff for being here. Really appreciate it. You guys are the best. And we've been through a lot, and you've done just fantastic. So, again, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it.